Oh, what is going on, everybody? Welcome to another week of Bracket Bitches. And welcome to winter. Welcome to sickness and health. I came down with a little bit of something over the weekend. It is clearing up, but it is still painful in my chest. But Josh, how are you doing? Hopefully you're a little bit better off than I am.
Well, you've experienced this sickness pretty much like what? At least 7 years in a row as far as how many times you made the AFC Championship. And then like 5 out of the 7 that you've made the Super Bowl. So it's pretty consistent on when you become sick.
Yeah.
And in turn, all the rest of the fan bases are sick of you.
Yeah, that is very true. Being a Chiefs fan in 2025, nobody likes you, even though you're just happy that your team has made it to the dance again, and that you'll probably never see this much success. Once this regime is done,
enjoy it.
Yeah, we're trying to enjoy it, but we can't. Whenever fucks like you just always shit on us. But as a Cowboy fan, you also know about getting shitted on.
I've never shitted on Kansas City. I've always given them the benefit of the doubt. It's more of an envy than I'm mad at you.
Yeah.
Situation.
Oh yeah. And I think that's what a lot of it is. But in case you all at home are wondering what the hell we're talking about, we are talking about the NFL playoffs, baby. Mm-hmm. 2025. This is what the bracket. They didn't update it on Sporting News, but thank you, courtesy of them, for this graphic. But we did have the Kansas City Chiefs top the Buffalo Bills and get into the dance, and then the Philadelphia Eagles topped the Washington Commanders. I mean, pummeled the Commanders. That was as brutal of a NFC conference, probably just a conference championship that I've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah, I guess as far as conference championships, I mean, I think Denver beat the shit out of somebody when Manning was still there. But yeah, I mean, it's pretty much been kind of a closer race for most of the time. But yeah, just 55-24 or something like that. Like, I mean, it was just the Commanders turned back into the Commanders that we thought, and the Eagles are just that good. We kind of always said, like, I mean, Sirianni likes to get in his own way, but this is his second Super Bowl appearance in 4 years. And if you look at it, you think that the Eagles are always there. They're not. I mean, it went from Doug Peterson. They went to crap. They let him go. Brought in Sirianni. Yeah, he's got some quirky things about him. He's kind of an odd dude.
Yeah, he's an odd duck for sure.
But he gets the Super Bowl, and I can't wait to see him be a puddle during the national anthem that he was 2 years ago. But it's so weird that in the past 4 years, counting this year, it's always been the Chiefs, and then 49ers twice, and the Eagles twice. Mm-hmm. If people are always sitting there and be like, the NFL has got such a stranglehold on their viewers that there could be the most, hey, guess what? You're going to get the Chiefs every single time, and people will still effing watch.
I mean, they're going to hate watch, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, but still, people are still going to watch because they made it more of an event than just a game.
Yeah. No, I'm with you there. But they hate watch, much like these people that are not Cowboy fans. Here we go. Listen, we may have to pierce your ears a little bit to hear this in the background.
Division opponent. I wouldn't look past Washington this week. I really wouldn't.
You love your guy Heineke.
My man Heineke.
By the way, the crowd is chanting "Dallas sucks" right now.
Yeah,
they don't like that. They're mad at me right now.
What do they think about Washington?
Yeah. I mean, just relentless, dude. I feel so bad for you guys because you all don't deserve it. You didn't make the playoffs. Everybody knows that you're going through transitions, but they still, just the NFC East, just eats their own any chance they can, even whenever their
every year now, because every time I tell somebody I'm like, I'm a Cowboys fan, they go, ugh. I'm like, why? You want to know how much we've just not done anything? in 30 years. Everyone knows the stat by now. Jalen Hurts and Daniels.
Yep, Jade Daniels.
Jade Daniels, sorry. Jalen Hurts and Jade Daniels literally were conceived, born, raised, went to college, got into the pros, and made an NFC championship before the Cowboys in that span.
Yeah. I mean, maybe that's
not a Super Bowl, NFC championship.
Yeah. Maybe you just got to start breeding your next quarterback. Start grow them in a lab. Get a pen and a pad. Try to get this damn label off. Because you got another 20, 30 years. You could do that, right?
I don't.
Yeah. I mean, who knows? Who knows if America has another 20, 30 years? We'll
if
see.
anyone's going to be able to figure out just becoming a robot, it's Jerry Jones.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he'll definitely figure it out. But we're here to talk about the brackets, and we're going to talk about our pool as well. Let me get the right camera. There we go. There's our faces, bud.
Yeah. People really didn't see me, but I'll take it.
Oh, man. Well, they definitely don't need to hear me or hear that. But Ryan, you know what? I liked the guy at first. I don't like him now. If he does this with our fantasy league, just comes in and demolishes us, I'm not going to be excited. But there's a good chance he's going to win it. Good chance. He's in the league with 650. You got Chris the Gift Taylor right behind him at 575. You have myself at 500. Then Soul. Then you. Then we have Jason with Team Swelsey. Justin Toner, Landon Griffith, Chris Cage, and then Jeremy Miller down there. Of course, nobody picked the Eagles to go on and win the Super Bowl. But some people did pick them to win. We're going to look at yours. Unfortunately, you were not one of them. But you did pick the Chiefs to go on into the Super Bowl, but just to lose to the Lions. Soul did the same thing. I'm going to run through these because we'll go back and kind of talk about the Commanders and how much they just wrecked everybody's bracket. She actually picked Buffalo over Kansas City, so that's what you get when you bet against the Chiefs. Then you got myself. I did not pick the Eagles. I picked them to go to the game, but I picked the Lions like everybody else did to win. It didn't work out for me. Giff actually picked the Eagles. Wait, no, he didn't. Sorry, he picked Detroit over Philly.
He picked Detroit.
Ryan was the one that did that. Ryan picked Philadelphia over Detroit, and that might be the deciding factor.
Yeah.
And we have I think we got some numbers that might show there's a little bit of a chance.
All right, Lloyd Christmas, tell us what's up.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, 100% of the time, he wins every time. We really did. That's the only thing we needed to show was congratulations, Ryan.
Man, this is a good show, guys. It's a great show.
All right, wrap it up.
Rocket bitches, 10 minutes.
All right, yep, we'll see you at the next one. Hey, bye. Bye.
Bye. Yeah. Emotions.
Okay, well, I had to start the song to continue the bit, you know. But yeah, man. I mean, looking at that, like, good God. There's one more game left. You know, me and him both picked the Chiefs. I think we were the only two, or Jason picked the Chiefs as well. Yeah. I mean, that's going to be pretty much a wrap for it. I mean, as far as any drama, as far as who's going to win or not, but. For your picks, I mean, it's always hindsight. Looking into next year, I mean, are the Lions going to be the Lions? I mean, with their head, they keep their head coach, but they
lost two coordinators
and defensive coordinators. And if the Eagles are any indication of that, it takes you about 2 or 3 years to get back.
Yeah. I think Detroit will be fine on the defensive end, and they have a great culture.
Yeah.
That's the main thing. Is you can trade coordinators on coordinators. I mean, the Eagles, they lost their they went to the Super Bowl, lost their coordinators, still kept that culture. And they lost, and then their coordinators didn't do worth a crap last year. They get brand new coordinators, and here they are back in the Super Bowl because they still had that culture. They still have a good GM, and that's the thing is you still have the right guy in charge, and you have the right guy in the front office. And you have an owner that lets them do what they need to do to succeed. So do I think the Lions are going to be, next year they're going to take the next step into making a Super Bowl or anything? I don't know. I mean, is Jared Goff really the guy? Because
Right.
I mean, he was terrible against Washington. Let's call a spade a spade.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, obviously the defense couldn't stop anyone, and they were running 13 guys. I understand that part, but you can't turn the ball over that many times. I mean, look at what Washington did against anyone that turned the ball over, whether it be getting stopped on fourth down, wearing the worst tush push I've ever seen in Buffalo, or Washington just can't hold on to the ball. So that's what you were getting a lot of there. So I don't know I hope they are. I mean, it makes for a fun season.
Yeah, as far as the Lions. It's just tough. I mean, it's tough to keep things consistent. I mean, let alone, like you look at the Chiefs. I mean, they've been one of the most consistent coaching staffs, but their personnel changes quite often.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you got your core players that you're keeping around, but I mean, we lost Snead, L'Jarius Snead last year, or this year we lost him.
You lost
Tyreek
Hill.
Quarterback. Yeah, we lost Tyreek Hill 5 years
Didn't
ago.
matter.
But I mean, with that, we lost them, but it frees up capital, frees up a little bit of CapEx or some of the budget, and then we're able to go get other players, and that's where we're able to get DeAndre Hopkins, Hollywood Brown, things of that nature. So you just gotta you have to have some aggression, but you also have to have a little bit of patience in that all at the same time of building these teams. Excuse me.
Is patience 7 AFC championships in a row? Is that patience?
Patience? Yeah.
Okay.
That's a juggernaut. That's what that is. That's dynasty.
It's a dynasty, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
It's. I mean, a Patriots fan is going to sit there and be like, "Yeah, we lived through it." But the fact that people are like, "Are you sure Patrick Mahomes is that good?" Yes, he's that. I don't. What are we arguing with here?
Well, people just don't like him anymore. I mean, the honeymoon phase is over as far as.
Yeah, I understand that, but the thing is Patrick is a very smart player. Does he flop?
Yep.
Sure, that's annoying, but it's the same thing.
Yes, he does.
But it's the same thing of like Patrick Mahomes and how smart he plays the game and uses every little thing to his advantage. Is the same people are complaining about Patrick Mahomes and him flopping and whatnot. Are the same people that are probably mad at Steph Curry because he's really good at shooting threes and he's ruining the game. Like there's flopping, but then there's slowing down just enough to slide to where they collide, and it makes it seem like it's a violent hit, and they throw the flag on it. Or
sorry, in that situation that you're talking about, there's no way to control that.
No, there's no way.
And also, there's still head contact, man. I don't care. The brunt was the opponents on each other, but he still gets head contact. So come on, like settle down with that stuff there.
I'm just telling you
because we're looking at everything with a fucking microscope and in super slow mo. Like when's the exact precise moment that they touch the ball and come on, get real, guys. I mean, these are humans that are making these calls in real time. Are they the best whenever we're scrutinized? No, definitely not. But I guarantee you, they are calling it far better than me or you ever could. I've had to officiate sporting events, and it is not fun. You got people yelling at you all the time, and this is like a pickup like rec league with like kids. But you got the parents chirping the whole time. I mean, you're talking about these guys, these NFL referees. They have a full-time job, and then they have this.
Which I never understand. You're a gajillion-dollar industry, and you can't have full-time refs.
Seriously, yeah, they need to pay them full-time. And in the off season, they're just training. They're getting surgery on their eyes. They're getting, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, everything. They're staying in shape because they got to run and keep up with all those motherfuckers. I mean, it's impressive whenever you see a ref kind of staying with, Saquon Barkley to a degree. I mean, he's probably running faster than I could. I'd be 40 yards behind whenever he's 10 yards behind him. But but with all that said, a lot of it's bang bang. It's just in that moment, that's what they call it. There are some things. I mean, if we want to get particular with the two games, because that's the only two we have to talk about. With the Chiefs and Bills, since we're talking about it, there was a time where everybody's darling, because he had a medical condition on the field on live TV. It sucks, but come on, like nobody knew his name before that. and that's Damar Hamlin. And he slammed Patrick Mahomes in the end zone after the whistle was called, after the touchdown sign was thrown, and he slams his head into the ground. No flag. You don't see us bitching about it, right? There wasn't a flag on that, but what there was a flag on was whenever Kelsey started chirping into, Hamlin's ear, kind of saying, hey, you better not do that again. We see that. And then some other Bills player came and headbutted Kelsey. That's when a flag was called.
Yeah.
So don't come at me with this shit of, oh, the Chiefs never get calls. You're right. We didn't get a call on that one.
No.
I mean, we should have. Because that very well could have been. But that would have tarnished the image of Damar Hamlin.
The real honeymoon era, or like the honeymoon was over. Yeah.
No drama.
Thank you for joining us, Ryan. Now you win everything. You're gonna become Patrick Mahomes of our Discord if you keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah. Ryan Moss Holmes.
Yeah. That's a good one. Ramos Holmes. Anyway, no, it all started when Kadarius Toney lined up offsides. And
oh God, dude. Yeah.
Here, just follow my narrative here.
Yeah.
Here's what all flipped. Is Kadarius Toney lined up offsides. They called against the Chiefs. It should have been a kind of a walk-off. It was a great play. Should have happened against the Chiefs. They called it back. Buffalo wins the game. And the first thing that Patrick Mahomes gets caught in a hot mic when he goes to Josh Allen to tell him good game, he goes, that's fucking bullshit, man. You know it. I was like, but he literally lined up off sides. So that's when people started to get on Patrick. And that's where you see the snowball narrative because they're winning. And then he's, Kansas City is getting all the flags. I'm like, they're like the 29th best market in the league as far as like ratings. So why are you really going to push that? It's like you don't get to 7 ABC championships and 5 Super Bowls in 7 tries.
5 Super Bowls in 6 years.
Yeah, you don't do that by just getting the refs giving you calls. You stop them on 4th down. You stop them on doing 2-point conversions, and then you score when you need to. And they do that. They make the plays, even special teams. You make every little thing that the Chiefs do, those little minute details that just like, oh, yeah.
Remigio, baby.
Yeah.
I mean, he showed up. Juju Smith-Schuster showed up. I mean, it was the cast of characters that you don't really know. But to your point, yeah. I mean, it was a weak moment for Mahomes. And, he definitely said that. But also, I think with that, like him and Josh have like a great relationship where they chat in the offseason and hang out and play golf. So it's kind of one of those things like he's fucking heated. And, I would have been too. I mean, I got a little bit of a temper if you guys know me. So, it happens. It's not great. But also, we're not always, being recorded like these individuals are. But yeah, I think you're right. That was kind of like a little bit of the heel turn in the public perception. But also, I mean, it's just like with anything. Whenever you're looking for something, you're going to find it.
Oh, yeah.
Not that it's going to be true, but you are going to have leaps of judgment without facts to basically kind of, to be able to find that answer for yourself. Because your mind just kind of wants that. And
it's also on magnitudes on the fact that you'll have like a Chris Collinsworth or certain media members glazing when Patrick Mahomes, like, when blinks an eye like Patrick Mahomes, just like,
I mean,
it's like, did you see that throw? Oh my God. Like when someone else throws it, that was pretty cool. But when Patrick Mahomes does, it's like, oh my God. Yeah. I've never seen someone throw like of course we're making jokes about it, but that's just another added on to the fact of, people just like, we get it. He's a good quarterback.
Well, I've never liked Chris Collinsworth. Everybody in Kansas City hates Joe Buck. So, you got these commentators that they just get paid to talk, and that's what they're going to do. They're going to speak to fill in the gaps, and they don't always have something of significance to say. And they become a broken record, especially when they're in their older age, like with Chris Collinsworth. And it's a running joke, and he still does it, which is funny. So I don't know if he just is kind of going off the best, Frank Caliendo's, best hits of him as far as his impersonations.
Yeah,
but,
I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. Nope. Don't have it in me tonight.
Yeah, right.
But before we move on to the Eagles game, because I do want to.
I was going to get back to the Chiefs game too. So
but someone did point out as far as now that Patrick Mahomes has beaten Josh Allen once again in the playoffs, if you think about the best quarterbacks in the league, someone kind of pointed out. Patrick Mahomes has been to 5 Super Bowls in 6 years. Won, obviously, multiple 3-time Super Bowl champion. Lamar, about to probably win his third MVP unless they just give it to Josh out of just because. About to be at least a 2-time MVP. Joe Burrow went to the Super Bowl. Jalen Hurts, two-time in the Super Bowl. Josh Allen beat Patrick Mahomes a couple times during the regular season.
Yeah.
It stinks, but that's true.
Yeah. No, and it sucks because he is being compared to Dan Marino. One of the best to never really achieve, get anything.
So early in his career.
Exactly. And that's why I really more credit. I really look at him more as like Peyton Manning. It's just it's just you have Tom Brady in front of him.
Yeah, it's with every quarterback.
He's gonna get it. He's gonna get 1 or 2, and it may be here in a couple of years, but and it may be next year, really, in all reality, because they've got a good team. I don't think they're losing any coordinators. Like Joe Brady's not going anywhere, hopefully, because they just got him this year. Like that'd be annoying as hell to get someone in and then the next year they leave. But such is the league, because we're microwave culture. If you don't win this year, then break everything apart and restart each year.
Well, the Ravens aren't doing that. They're getting ready to sign Monken, the offensive coordinator, to an extension. So
yeah, good, as they should.
And you got to think. Buffalo, yeah, they won the game, and Lamar and Mark Andrews and all that, but Zay Flowers didn't play. Mm-hmm. Yes, it's one player, but that one player is such a dynamic difference maker on the offensive end. Who knows? But yes, Lamar presses too much, unfortunately, in the playoffs, and for some reason the Ravens just forget to catch the ball or hold on to the ball in the playoffs. Whatever.
And the Bills had some injuries as well.
Yeah,
some pretty key ones on defense, and you saw Spags taking advantage of that. To me, the biggest difference, you had some momentum killers in the turnovers on downs, where I think it was Kincaid. It looked like he may have gotten to the first down marker. They marked him a yard short, and then you had the sneak try that got called. That excuse me, that did not get called. And those are definitely contestable. This whole thing of camera angles absolutely pisses me off. They have over 100 cameras running at each of these games. You're telling me
at this
there's
point,
no
put a
way
thing
we
in the
don't
ball.
have? Yeah. For me, like as a viewer, for one, I'm with Ryan. For me, I mute the announcers, listen to Tom Grossi. Whenever it's a Chiefs game, I like to listen to Cole with how about those Chiefs. But no, it's just whenever it goes to a replay, don't just show us that one angle that you want to show us. Give us all 8 angles simultaneously in sync, so we can just see that. And if it means me paying extra money a season to see that, then I'll do that. And then don't give me announcers. Just give me the crowd noise. Give me the field noise. Like I want to hear the fucking rumble of the crowd come through my speakers. I don't want fucking Tony Romo or Tom Brady fucking chirping in my ear about what they would have done. Like I don't give a shit.
I don't know, Jim.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
And then Tom Brady's like, "Hey, that was a cool first down. So remember when I made a first down in my career? That was great,
Yeah.
wasn't it?" It's like, "Yes, Tom, we watched it."
Yeah, have I showed you my rings? Like, yeah, we got it. You got all of them.
I know it's his first season, but dude, someone pointed out, and I cannot unhear it anymore about how he always brings up what he did.
Yeah. And part of that is him just trying to find his rhythm.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I get it, it's his first year, but ever since you know how it is, when someone points that one, it's like someone does an impression of a like Jason Statham or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just like when someone's like, "Do you know what I mean?" And no, mate. Never, I can't unhear that.
Right? Yeah. Not like that though. But for the Chiefs game, to me, it really just came down to the Bills going away from the run in the end. They have the ball. It was 3 minutes and 33 seconds. They had all 3 timeouts. They were down by 3, and then they just passed. The first one was a terrible incompletion by Allen. He just missed his receiver. The second one wasn't that great of a pass either. And then they just kept passing. It was like, what are you doing? Where is James Cook? They took him out the kitchen, man, and they should have left him in. I think that's them. That's not the refs, ladies and gentlemen. You could say it's rigged, and maybe they were told, "Hey, stop doing this. We want the Chiefs to win." If you're thinking about the conspiracy, maybe that's the part there, but it's not the freaking refs, man.
It's not because they did it earlier in this. Plan. Yeah, no, you're correct, and the James Cook pun was well done.
Thank you.
But no, I saw them do it against Houston, where they basically had the game and they just kept throwing, and we were like, "What was that? Why do you keep throwing? Just run the damn ball, Bert."
Yep.
Just a quote.
Yeah. Yeah. So, any final notes on the Chiefs and Bills match?
Can't wait to talk the same thing. Just rewind it. Just put 2026 on it, and there you go.
Okay, there we go. All right, it's in the can. Then we don't even need to do that.
Yeah. No,
but we will jump to it and probably spend about 10 minutes on this. The Eagles top the Commanders and score over 50 points. Man, I mean,
how many rushing touchdowns they have? 6,
7.
7. Yeah.
7. They set the record with 6.
Yeah.
And then Shipley at the end got an extra one. They almost set the entire record. So it's actually funny enough. It's actually set by the Chiefs, the 2004 Chiefs, with Priest Holmes and them. They had 8 rushing touchdowns in one game, and that's the regular season. But that was probably of all games right there. But the playoff game record is now 7, thanks to the Eagles, and in large part Saquon Barkley. Man, I mean you can't say enough about this guy. He is exactly where he needs to be. And you can tell he is having the time of his life where whenever he was with the Giants and that dysfunctional organization, he was just miserable and injured for a good part of the last year. But yeah, man, what are your thoughts on the Commanders game?
This game, unfortunately, went the way I thought. Like, as soon as like Commanders come out, at least get 3 points, we're like, okay. And then Saquon just busts one. And it's just like, First touch. You're in for a long game if you're letting that happen right off the jump. And they could not stop them. And the Eagles defense was turning special teams. They were turning the ball over. I mean, Jaden was fine. Like don't sit there and Jaden played a fine game. But you can't come back from letting 459 yards worth of total defense, 7 rushing touchdowns, and turn the ball over 3 times. Yep. That's that. There's nothing you can. There's no way around it. You got your ass. That was a whomping. They got their ass kicked. And the thing is yes, I know people sit there like a lot of Commanders fans. They were sitting there like, oh, we're on house money. But once you get to that NFC Championship and that Super Bowl is literally right there at the grass, then it just becomes a heartbreaker. I mean, I don't know personally in 30 years, but once you reach that NFC Championship. Just when you're like, oh, we're on a cool run. Same thing with Detroit last year. It's like, oh, dude, we finally made it. We're on a good run. Actually, we can actually do this. And then you realize you are an inferior opponent. And it's nothing against Dan, who has been an amazing coach.
Yeah.
It's nothing against the owners.
Kingsbury. Yeah.
Cliff Kingsbury. You went up against a team that was built to win this year, and you just happened to put the right chess pieces together when you needed to get where you were at. So hats off to Commanders, but we knew eventually the slipper wasn't going to fit anymore. And it happened to be by the Eagles. But Jaden Daniels should make people very excited for Washington. Yeah,
no, definitely. You talk about him having a good game. 29 of 48 for 255 yards and 1 touchdown.
Yeah.
He did have 1 interception. I can't remember if that came late in the game.
It came late.
But the Eagles absolutely dominated in that fourth quarter. They shut the Commanders out while stacking another 21 points on top of them.
Yeah.
And you could tell just I think it was at like another like big Saquon run. It was just like you saw the defeat on the sidelines. Yeah. They knew it. They're like, there's no way we can stop them and come back from this deficit. And and the Eagles weren't really, like running up the score. It was there. I mean, Shipley just starts running. He's like, oh, I guess I'll go score. I'll go run for another 60 yards. Like, I mean, What are you gonna do? Just take a knee? I mean, there's still like I think 5 minutes left in the game. But yeah, no, I mean, absolutely incredible job by them. Like I said, Saquon, good Lord.
He's
15 carries for 118 yards and 3 touchdowns. At one point, he had two touches for 2 touchdowns and 64 yards, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he's doing it for a team in the state of Pennsylvania, and he was a Penn State guy through and through. So you have a lot of Penn State alum or also Eagles fans. So it's just like the best of both worlds. But man, is that clip from Hard Knocks, front office from the Giants, that will be repeated, especially if the Eagles win the Super Bowl somehow, and Saquon goes off for like $150 or $185 and 2 touchdowns, and they win it, and so many of the Giants fans will be like, "Why did you keep Daniel Jones?"
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, I have Jerry Jones as my owner / president. You can't hurt me anymore.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it is an absolute dumpster fire there. So, I mean, you have every right to laugh at your NFC East opponent because he is definitely, that team is making it a part of the least. But excuse me. No, I was going to try to find this video. I wish I would have bookmarked it. But the crazy thing in this game, to me, is that we found out that there's a new rule. Not a new rule.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a new rule to the zeitgeist as far as us understanding. That apparently the Chiefs apparently the refs, Freudian slip. Apparently the refs can actually give points.
One of the same.
Exactly. They can award points to the offense. And we almost saw that, and I wish we would have saw that. I would have loved that chaos there. But yeah, I mean, tell them a little bit more about what happened there, bud.
So I think his last name's like Luvu or something.
Yeah,
but they were getting ready to do a tush push, and he just kept jumping, trying to time it, and jumped off sides like 5 times in a row. So finally, the refs, because you can't really move the ball forward anymore, but he keeps jumping off sides to try and stop the tush push. So finally, the ref was just like, by rule, if he keeps doing it, we could just award the points to the other team. And everyone was like, what? So then the Eagles were like, all right, finally the Commanders were like, all right, just let them score. I guess at that point. But yes, there were so many memes of just like the Chief, like it shows like Patrick Mahomes going up to Andy Reid and being like, what can we do again? Like,
yeah,
we can do what?
This is the thing.
This is the thing.
And here's a good video. I was going to put one together, but Brandon Perna, That's Good Sports, did an incredible job.
To the palpably unfair play act.
If that foul is intentionally done again, it will be an unsportsmanlike conduct foul. Washington has been advised that at some point the referee can award a score if this type of behavior happens again.
Yeah, that's watching it live. That was one of the most exciting things. I was like, oh my God, is this going to happen? Like, do it again. Like, I don't want to see the tush push be successful. I want to see some fucking chaos with the palpably unfair act. And for them to basically say, if they can continue this behavior, it was like, good God, like, what are you, a Sunday school teacher? Like, yeah. What is going on now?
I will turn this game around if you keep doing it.
Exactly. I will pull over and I will use my belt. I mean, absolutely wild. That last one, I mean, it was so tense because Luvu, who just got 2 back-to-back calls on him, is like running and kind of running. It's like, whoo. So it's like building up that tension. And then the guard like kind of jumps off a little bit, then gets back before they do anything. It's like, and then the center just like, and they just all fell on top of each other trying to not go. I was like, and I messaged you. People are so afraid of the tush push that is happening. I mean, yes, they're trying to get the advantage. They're trying to jump the call and literally jump the line, but that is such an effective play when done by the Eagles. Maybe not so much when the Bills did it.
There's a lot of teams that try and do it, and only Eagles have perfected it.
But it's such an effective play that, we almost had that situation. We almost had the refs give the Eagles points because the Commanders just couldn't really handle it. I mean, it was wild. It was such a joy to watch live.
Yeah.
And in that tense moment. But yeah, I mean, for the rest of this game, what are your final thoughts on it?
I mean, this was just a whomping, as the kids say. I mean, it was just straight up. They came out. And
I don't think I've
Washington.
heard a kid say whomping.
What?
I don't think I've heard a kid in this generation say whomping.
There's probably one out there.
Maybe in the Roaring 20s. Like, this is a whomping.
Yeah. Oh, never mind.
Yeah, the kids with the cigars.
Yeah. See. Yeah.
Yeah. We're high schoolers. We're sitting here smoking cigars.
Oh my God, I'm going crazy. Look at my hand. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going crazy.
Right.
Anyway,
but
we
go
go
to the game.
Anyway, to the game. But yeah, no, Saquon is just.
Yeah.
That's going to be. I'm more interested to see because this Eagles matchup against the Chiefs, I think, is a lot different. Mm-hmm. And also, for people out there who are still saying to ban the tush push, has anyone gotten hurt doing it?
Jason Kelce may be a few inches shorter because of it.
Right.
We don't know yet.
Has anyone physically gotten hurt on the field that you know of when a tush push happens?
No.
Okay. Does it have 100% success rate in the NFL?
Nope.
So it can be stopped.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the problem?
Yeah.
Is it because the Eagles are basically like a 96, 100% success rate? Oh, yeah. That means that they perfected something that no one else has. Trust me, we saw the Bills.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell that was.
Yeah. Sorry, Justin.
Yeah.
Yeah. We appreciate you, though, brother. Thinking of you.
And if you don't think the quarterback has something to do with it, they took Mark Andrews is the tush push guy for the Ravens. So they ran a couple of times, and they had Lamar in shotgun, and then Andrews would come in motion and just get right behind the center, and they'd go. So like everyone has their own version of the tush push, but just because the Eagles are really good at it and no one's gotten hurt, that's all it takes. Once someone gets hurt, that's the reason rules happen. Tom Brady tore his ACL, can't hit one bolt, on the ankle, like right there below the ankle. Aaron Rodgers, everyone's weight landed on his shoulder and broke his collarbone. Can't do that anymore. Well, they've kind of gotten better about calling that. They were like super liberal about calling that for a while. And now obviously, I forget the other rule that I was talking about, but those two always stick out to me is like until someone gets hurt, like horse collar. Once Terrell Owens got hurt when they got a horse collar tackle.
Chris Holmes was kind of the genesis of that.
Right, but I remember with Terrell Owens, that's when it really magnified.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
On that. And then the hip drop tackle last year. Mm-hmm. They're not calling it a lot this year, even though it's a rule, but they're just
seen it a few times not get called.
We have seen it. Not calling it. Because so many guys got hurt last year and they made it a rule. So some rules they'll make, but they're not going to call, where some they get a little bit overboard with it. Mm-hmm. But I don't think the tush push should be. The only way you can make it illegal is if you make it an illegal formation. That's the only way it can be illegal.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not going to see the Chiefs do it because Mahomes, whenever he did a QB sneak, his kneecap fell off. So, but it's about the quarterback. It's also about the line. I mean, because Kenny Pickett got 2 rushing touchdowns with the tush push. But having Jalen Hurts, that's a bad man. That dude squats 600 pounds.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, is he just working out with Derrick Henry and pulling people's homes and auto? Like, it's ridiculous what this guy has been able to do as far as Jalen Hurts.
Well, you're going to have Chris Jones going against it. And if there's any kryptonite to the tush push stopper, it's Chris Jones.
Oh yeah, yeah, and Hugh, we've got a good defensive line, well schemed, well disciplined. I mean, it's going to be. I think it's going to be a very low scoring affair for part of the game. I don't know if it's going to be first half or second half, but and it may be the second half. Maybe the first half things open up a little bit, and then they all start kind of making adjustments and tightening it down and shutting each other down. But yeah, I mean, it's just it's going to come to that trench, man. I mean, to me, that's the battle. It is their offensive line as far as the Philadelphia Eagles and the Chiefs' defensive line. And what is that going to look like? The Chiefs are a good defense, run defense. They're not the best at. And James Cook was able to kind of tear that open a little bit. But Saquon Barkley is a whole different beast, man.
And if you allow Jalen Hurts to throw the ball the way he was throwing it against, which I don't think he will, but if you let Jalen Hurts throw the ball like he was against Washington, that's it. I mean, it's just I don't think the Chiefs are going to allow him to, but the way they run the way they scheme everything, it's all eyes on Saquon. Good luck, and if you can stop it, you have Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. And as long as A.J. Brown's getting his Bible verses in on the sidelines, he's going to be ready.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you got Shipley, you got Gainwell. I mean, they've got a great cast.
Goddard.
Goddard. They've got a great cast there, and it's definitely gonna be interesting. And we're also interested in hearing from you all. So let us know in the chats. Did you have the Chiefs and the Eagles going, or did you just have one of them, or did you not have any of them at all?
I had the Chiefs.
Yeah, a lot of people had the Chiefs. The Eagles were the surprise one. It's gonna be an exciting game. We still have 2 weeks, so we may not have a bracket bitches show next week because there's really not going to be a game going on. It might be the following Super Bowl Sunday, so it probably gives us some time to kind of rest our voices and heal up a little bit.
Oh, no. I got about 17 more shows in between there, guys. Okay, so just stay tuned for this space.
Exactly, yeah. Yeah, stay tuned. We do have Game Dudes on Wednesdays now, as well as Wrap It Up. Thursdays, we got Ruckus Wrestling. Saturday, baby. Saturday, y'all got a big one, man. Tell us a little bit about what's going on Saturday.
Yeah, so this Saturday is the Royal Rumble. You got it.
Yeah.
It is the Royal Rumble, and it is I know people talk about WrestleMania. It is a spectacle. I get it. But the Royal Rumble is my favorite event, wrestling event of any promotion or anything like that. There's so much anticipation of how do you think it's going to go. There's so much going on. The surprise entrances, the storyline set up that you get in that match itself. It's just so much is done and set up. And it's just a great thing. Justin and I will be going live and reacting to it. So please sit like Ryan said. He doesn't even listen to the commentators. Listen to Tom Grossi. Well, guess what? We're going to be your Tom Grossi for the Royal Rumble. So jump on over to Rev Sports. Watch me and Justin live react. Tell us what you're thinking as you're watching along. If you're not into wrestling or you were into wrestling and still you're like, who is this? Let us know in the comments. We would love to go over those type of wrestlers and get you dip your toe back into the waters you once swam in.
Yeah, love it, man. And I'm excited to watch along with you guys as well. And then we also got some other shows coming up. I know we had a fun Discord hangout and got to hear kind of like a new concept from one of our Patreon members. So if you actually want to join the Discord, follow the link below. Follow us everywhere at Ruckus EV. You got one more thing?
And our book club, Tuesdays with Maury.
Well, yeah. I was going to mention the book club.
That's okay.
Tuesdays with Maury. Soul's got a book club they're going to be doing. It's going to be here pretty soon.
Yeah.
Since it's getting to the end of the month. But it is the end of this show, ladies and gentlemen. We did it. Y'all have a good one. Be safe. We'll see ya. We outie. Peace.
It's black lung, huh?